Hey, what's going on everyone? E back with another action figure review, and today we are taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Retro Vintage Fantastic Four carded wave, Mr. Fantastic. So you can clearly see Mr. Fantastic displayed through the window packaging. We get the super nice retro carded, package design. This is nothing new. We're very deep into the retro carded, releases of Marvel Legends, which I really am a big fan of, and hopefully we continue to get some white retro vintage cards. And then we got the Spider-Man retros. Then we got the X-Men retros. Now we're getting Fantastic Four retros, and then shortly we're gonna get some Toy Biz retros. So very nice, package designs. The package itself is actually really big, and I can't really fit it in frame, but it is pretty big. Here it is next to a normal, regular Marvel Legends package. You can see this is in frame, and this is out of frame, but the top of it shows Fantastic Four. On the back side, we get the rest of the wave displayed there. We get Thing, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, Psycho Man, and High Evolutionary. See some nice images up here, and then we do get a read-up that reads, as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards utilizes his scientific brilliance and pliable form to make a difference in the world. That's it. Seems like it's a lot more, but it's just a whole bunch of different languages of the same reading. Alright, so we've gotten Reed Richards before, and what's making this one extra special is the lab coat. It's the first time we ever get a Reed Richards with a lab coat, so I think it's really cool. It's a very nice addition to have in the collection. It's just something very different, aside from getting a third Reed Richards from Hasbro. Definitely cool that they threw in this lab coat, and it's interchangeable too, which is awesome. If you don't want the lab coat and you just want the classic look, hey, you can do that too. And that's another thing. It's the classic look of the Fantastic Four Reed Richards with the classic blue and white. So we'll swap that out. We'll check it out in a second. But before we get to that, let's take a look at all the accessories he comes with, and it's a ton. A separate pair of arms. That's it. I was obviously being sarcastic there. Not a lot of accessories with this. Actually not a lot of accessories with any of the figures in this wave. The figures are a little bit higher price tag, so that kind of sucks overall for everybody across the board. A lot of these bodies are repaints, reissues, I guess. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. They could have packed in some things. I don't know if the package is really that expensive, but hey, I don't know. Who am I to say that? Anyways, so we get the separate arms. This is for, of course, if you don't want the lab coat on, you can swap all the arms and put on non-sleeved, non-lab coated sleeved arms. And these have the fingers that are stretchy, so they're stretched out. That's the only portion of this figure that it's stretched out. So this is more of a Reed Richards than a Mr. Fantastic, I guess we should say. Because, it's more, the only thing you get is the finger stretched out, which we've gotten before. They could have packed in the stretchy arms or the long arms with the bendy wire from the Walgreens exclusive Reed Richards, but they didn't. And again, you can swap out the hands. If you don't want the stretchy fingers on these, then you can have the regular hands that are on the figure now on these arms. Alright, so this is a similar head sculpt because it's the same head sculpt from the Walgreens exclusive Reed Richards. Same exact body as well. So if you have that figure, you know what to expect here. The lab coat is brand new. I don't think any other figure has ever had this lab coat. Now the arms are probably reused from the suited body, but the lab coat definitely is brand new. Taking a closer look at the figure, we could see some of the sculpt work on the coat itself and the number 4, which is very clean. Down to the feet, nothing too crazy. Of course, no details like, it's just a plain blue and white as it should be. And of course, a closer look at the head sculpt that we've seen before, but just you see it again. There it is. Alright, so the arms pop off pretty easy. There you go. And that's how you take off the lab coat. And then you just attach the other arms right into where the the sockets are. And there you have it. There's your Reed Richards. Stretchy fingers Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, without the lab coat. And then what you do is, with the lab coat arms, take these hands off and put them on to the regular arms. And now you have a 100% regular Reed Richards without the stretchy fingers, if you so wish. So you get plenty of options here, at least 3 variants of Reed Richards, which is very dope. Now that we have him without the lab coat, it's almost like a different figure. I really appreciate this. So, if anything, I know the lack of accessories is a thing, but hey, you get the option to get two very different looking Reed Richards figures all in one. So it's almost like a 2-in-1. Now, if I did have a gripe about this figure, going back up close, would be the lack of coats of paint on the forearm and on the shins. Definitely have some paint chipping. Let's see if you guys can catch that right there. And some of the creases where the muscles are, it's missing some paint. It goes for both shins and forearms. The rest of the figure is molded blue plastic, and it looks like the forearms were completely white and they just had to paint this portion. And the same thing for the shins, completely white mold, but then they had to paint the blue to match it with the thighs. Kind of sucks. That's what happens when one piece has two colors. They can only mold it in one color. They can't mold it in two. They would have had to give him a shin swivel, a cut right here for them to separate that without painting it. I do prefer that, but it is what it is. Alright, so do you prefer your Reed Richards like this, or do you prefer him like this? Alright, so there's a look at him next to the Super Scroll Build-A-Figure Wave Reed Richards figure. And you can see the very different designs and color and overall design of the suit. And of course the head sculpt. So this is definitely like a classic versus modern look. I'm definitely leaning towards the classic side. It looks way better in my opinion. But I do understand if some fans out there prefer a more modern look to Reed Richards. That said, he is sporting the same exact body on both figures except for the feet mold on this one. And that's about it. I guess he has fists over here, which he doesn't come with, so I guess that counts as a different piece. Alright, and then here he is with the Walgreens exclusive Reed Richards, looking kind of funny with his stretchy arm out. And you can see this is definitely the 100% same body mold as our retro vintage version and the same exact head sculpt. The only difference here, he has a fist here and he's got the stretchy arm, something that they could have added with this release over here. And here's just a closer look at the head sculpts there. The tones of the of the skin is slightly different there, but overall the same exact paint job and sculpt. Here he is next to some of the Prime Sentinels here from the HasLab Sentinel. We have Bastion and we have the female Prime Sentinel. And with that, that's gonna wrap up this review. I didn't go through the articulation just because it's not very necessary on a figure that we've seen before multiple times. We all know the articulation on the figure and what he can do. So this figure definitely has pros and cons. The pros being the fact that you can alternate between lab coat and without the lab coat. I think that is definitely the best part of this figure. And the cons being the fact that he's lacking a little bit on the accessories, section or department of this release. Although I truly believe he should have came with those exact bendy arms, I'll still accept it because I do still own that Walgreens exclusive version with the bendy arms. Alright guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.